showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
What is going on? What is going on, everybody? Yo, what is the deal? What is the deal, man? Man, I feel good. I feel good that I'm back on a mic with you guys for 2023, man. It's been a whole month. I usually come in like second week of January, you know, and I kick off the show for the new year. But this time I needed to get some things straight with you guys. I need to get some things straight with me before I got straight with you folks out there in the podcast world, everywhere where you're listening to this show, whatever country, whatever state, whatever county, whatever province that you're coming from. You're listening to this on your way to work, on your way home from work, doing your laundry, doing hanging out with the kids, whatever. You just want to have something to listen to, and you'll find this show, GCOM Radio, by your host Nova Phoenix, and I'm here with you guys at this very moment on the show for this February, the new month of February. We are over with the month of January, man, and we're starting February 2023. Real nice with GCOM Radio. And it just goes to show that I love doing podcasting. I can't see myself stopping anytime. This is a love that I don't know, man. I had since the very beginning. I always like doing it, as everybody knows that I spoke about on the show before. I've had a show when I was younger, in my 20s. It was on cable access in Brooklyn and Manhattan, and then more so Brooklyn. But I just love the fact that I could just connect with people and play music, which is like my first love. I was an artist many moons ago, and then I shifted into doing cable access, and then I did that for a little bit, and you know, I shifted in and did other things. But it's a funny thing, I put everything down, I stepped back, had a fam, and now is like I've been doing podcasting. Someone told me, hey, you should do podcasting. I think you would have a knack for it. And I was like, I wasn't sure about it. Let me fix this mic, what I told to you folks. I wasn't sure about it. And I was like, all right. In a way, when I did this and I got going with lyfeblood.com, I said, you know what, let me do something else that can kind of connect with the folks, build a community. You guys know what I'm thinking of, what's going on around the world, how it connects to Lifeblood. And now here I am on the 178th show. I'm sure I did 178. Yes, the 178. I can't believe. Fast forward, I look back on this time, and I'm on the 178th show. I'm surprised. And one thing I did learn as I went about living my adult life, that the one secret to success, folks, the one secret to success is consistency. Consistency. Let me pronunciate consistency. No matter what you go through in life, as long as you continue doing what you're doing, you focus, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to fumble, you're going to tumble. But as long as you pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you just dust yourself off by your shoulder and you look and you see the mistake that you made, remember the mistakes or what you can learn from. It doesn't mean for you to stop. And then you change up the strategy and you keep going forward. Understand what I'm saying, folks? Understand what that is. The secret to success: consistency and drive, and keep going forward. And I'm here with you going forward on the 178th show, and I'm loving it. Yeah, man. I don't know. I can't say what I'm going to do for 2023. There's so many things I want to do for 2023. But yeah, I guess like as I said before, I want to get into I wanted to get into a studio. I don't know if I want to do a studio. I'm to see. There's some things that are currently shifting in my life right now, looking for bigger space, and that's definitely going to include an office. So I don't know if there's going to be a separate studio someplace in New York, or if I'm going to have a studio at home. I think if I wanted to do like interviews and stuff, well, you can still do interviews online. So I don't know. Like I said, like you literally do not need to have like a physical space in order to do what you need to do. All you're doing is just adding more money and debt. That's all you're doing it to yourself. So, I mean, do I really need a studio to do what I'm doing? I don't think so, but it's fun. You know why I think? Because I think of what's my man name? I can't remember his name. He had like 2 studios. The commentator for UFC, you know who I'm talking about, and he's a podcast. He's been doing podcasts since the first utterance of the word podcast, and people was like, "What the hell?" He was doing it, and I can't remember his name right now. And let me see, Joe Rogan. And you know, Joe Rogan had like, well, currently, you know, he's got like he had a studio that he worked out of for years. I mean, for 4 years, and then just recently, probably in the last couple of years, he said, you know, I need a new surroundings for my studio. And first, he made an oven. I'm like, yo, dog, you're doing your show from an oven, because it looks like the hot coils inside of an oven. It was a great idea at first, but it slowly crept in. I'm like, why he looked like a baked turkey? He just looked like he in an oven or something. But then I think he got the same idea. I don't know what happened, because I really don't follow the show like that. He shifted and he made his studio like a wood background with neon sign, Joe Rogan show. So it was definitely, I think it was a turn in a good direction for him, because I think initially it may seem like a good, but it was just so red, and it just looked like he was in a sauna or something like that. But anyway, so I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm here now with you guys, enjoying it as the time goes on. I'm coming out of a new headphones. I used to rock, I forgot what headphones I used to rock. At first, I had this brother that he owned headphones. I still got holding on to those. Those are wireless joints. But now I got these new Beats headphones. Let me tell you, folks, the Beats is coming in clear with the bass all right. And I'm like, is it too loud? Is it peaking? Like, first turning this mic on, I'm like, God damn. But I checked the levels, and the levels are good. It's just, it's Beats headphones, and, they're going to throw money into a big brand, and that's what it is, But definitely want to big up that brother that came out with his own headphones, and he just started it, and I'm sure he's going to grow and get bigger. I'm not throwing away those headphones. Those are great headphones. There was nothing wrong with them, actually. They were really good headphones. It was cheap. They were like $40-$50. He worked with a company in, I believe, China, I guess. And they were dope headphones. I had a red pair. You've probably seen them in some of the interviews that I've done, and you know what I mean? I'm here. But anyway, let's get this show on the road. There's a lot of things that I just want to go through. So I am here. You are listening to GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio. You know, when I first came out with that thing a long time ago, getting on with podcasts, and I was like, I didn't care where my podcast is at, as long as it was on there. And then it was this thing that to get on iHeart platform, you had to submit materials, submit shows. It kind of reminds me when I first submitted the first couple of tapes I'm dating myself saying tapes. When I did my cable access show, I had to submit like 4 tapes. You know what I mean? And even to see if I even had the knack for it, and if I was dedicated to it. And I did. I think I surprised the station manager. I did my shows and I put them in. I didn't have no equipment, no nothing. I put it, when I put my mind to something, I go for it, nothing stopping me. So to get on iHeart, it was like, you got to submit your show. That doesn't mean you would get on, but you had to, I think you had to put together a few shows and then submit them. So I was on it. I was like, it took a couple of months, and I'm like, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I was like hitting up the contact person at iHeart, and it was like, yeah, we're working on it. I'm like, well, I know some people. I knew some one particular person. I was trying anything I could get because I felt like, yo, to keep me out, I want in. That's my thing. You could try to keep the mere fact of you trying to keep me out. I want in. I want to get in. I want to get in this room. So when I got on iHeart and I finally got the go through, I was like, oh snap. Okay, I don't know. I felt like, hey man, this is an accomplishment. I got on the platform like a lot of other show podcasts, and I felt like, hey man, I got in, and for some reason that thing came up. You listen to GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio. I'm on other platforms, of course, but again, another reason why I was excited to get on iHeart, because it's a music-based platform. It's just not podcasting, excuse me. You can listen to music, and I'm a big music person, and I play music initially at first time. If you're just tuning in now to GCOM Radio, I had a whole other format where I included indie artists on there, putting on their music, and I broke it up into segments. And that's a big question to you guys. Should I bring back this music? I love the music. I love listening to it. I love bumping into new artists that I see on IG. And that's when I was going on IG hard. And I segued off of IG because IG tried to play me by clipping my promotional wings, and I couldn't promote on IG anymore. And I was hitting like 1 million eyes. That was the numbers I was getting per month. And they clipped me, and I'm like, I didn't know why. So that kind of like deaded that version of it. But I'm still on iHeart. I did this and switched up so I can deal with segue for lyfeblood.com in order to get a VC backed and really concentrate on that instead of like trying to put a lot of my time into the GCOM, even though that is one of the main things that I do as a part of the venture with lyfeblood.com. I felt like, let me concentrate on getting Lyfeblood where it needs to be, and GCOM Radio will always be there and to set things up. So anyway, that's how I segued out of that music portion. So I still like music. I still love getting into it. And, hey, you never know. See what happens in 2023. It's already like literally February. Like the first month is done. So anyway, that's where I came up with that saying it every time. So in case you do find the show GCOM Radio on another platform, podcast platform, and you're saying iHeart, it's not. That's where I get it from. And I kind of like use iHeart as the main platform whenever I share. I say iHeart and wherever else you listen to podcasts, because of the fact that my format was like a music element podcasting type situation. Anyway, so what have I been up to starting the show? I was doing my Lyfeblood white paper. White paper just basically explains what your business is about. And of course, Lyfeblood stepping into the Web3 realm and transforming into a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. I felt that a white paper was necessary to kind of really give a big picture to folks that are really curious about what Lyfeblood is about. If you do not have a clear picture, when I promoted on IG, and I haven't really been, like I said, I stepped away from IG for a bit. Now my focus is on, I should be more definitely on Twitter, because a lot of the VCs are on Twitter. That's why I'm like using Twitter at this point, but I definitely use Twitter. The other site that I do use, and I do not want to forget this dude, Fanbase. I jump on Fanbase too. Sometimes they just need a little bit more traffic. I guess and I hate to say myself as an influencer, but as a person in communications that really takes it seriously, if I want people to get on the platform, then I should use the platform myself. So I'm definitely going to get on this platform some more. As far as Fanbase, he was recently in the Twitter space when he was talking about VCs. How come VCs do not fund black founders? And that was a Twitter space that was on a couple of weeks ago, and he kind of stepped in and he said his piece, his accomplishments. Big ups to my brother that started Fanbase, Isaac Hayes III. And so I was doing my white paper, and I completed. I've been doing it for a while now, and I say I have to finish it. I said I'm going to take my little break. I call it a semi-break to finish the white paper. I did. I want to do some finishing touches on it, and that's what I took January on, and finishing it out. And really, if I start something, I want to finish it. If I start something, I want to finish it. And I'm a type of person, if I keep on talking about it, then and you know, like if I'm saying like, yeah, I'm going to do this, or I am doing, eventually like I get tired of talking and like, yo, I got to do this. And that's where everything has its time and place. And that's why I step back from bringing back the show in the second week of January, which I usually do. And I got it finished. The other thing that I was working on was an 8-point proclamation for the black community and hip hop. That was something that I felt that was necessary since the death of my brother Takeoff. And I have it right here. I have my thing organized, folks, organized. And I write it out in Word. I wonder what people still use. But I use Word, and then I move it into a PDF. You know, of course, when you share things, just to let folks know, if you're going to share something with people through email, it's best to share the PDF, because you don't want people kind of messing with your content. So a PDF is something that's kind of like, you can't really mess with it like that. So it's good to always export into a PDF. But anyway, yeah. So I have this in a folder, and I finished that, and I thought that was necessary. And I felt like, with the death, I'm just tired of rappers getting killed, man. I'm tired of rappers getting killed. I'm tired. We deal with enough already, which I'll speak about later on in the show. But I'm tired of rappers dying for no fucking reason, man. And these dudes have families, their fathers, their brothers, their sons, their uncles. And to hear these stories where when you hear what happens and these raps, it's so, oh my God. So I wrote this 8-point proclamation for the black community and hip hop as things that we can change within our community. A lot of things that we do deal with on the outside, aggressions from various places, society and all different manifestations of how this aggression kind of approaches us. But there are some things that we can change ourselves because we are the culture, because we are the trendsetters, because we are moving, we are American culture, and we're moving things forward, and we're pretty much setting the precedent of all things in terms of entertainment and sports, especially in politics and in the sciences. I think it's necessary that the black community starts looking at ourselves and how we can improve and move as a culture. If we're going to call it a culture, and culture is just not music, it's the food, it's the way we move, it's the way we see things, our viewpoint, our worldview. If we're going to call hip hop culture a culture, then we must respect it as a culture. And there are some things that we can improve within ourselves to improve hip hop music or the hip hop culture. And I call it an 8-point proclamation for the black community and hip hop as well. It is on the site. It's on lyfeblood.com. You can check it out. And what I want to do, I'll get into that a little bit later, but I wrote this out, and hopefully I can share it with you guys, and you guys could be a part of this message that I want to spread across America and around the world. I'm looking forward for partnerships, man. I'm looking forward to build partnerships for 2023, and looking into that. And as far as Lyfeblood being a DAO, and now I'm really taking on. It's wild, man. I've been on TikTok. It is so wild. Now you think I had enough. It's wild. Hear me out. So I move off the IG because of the BS that they did me, and then I went to Twitter. And then they hear about Elon Musk taking over Twitter and all the bullshit that he was doing, and putting it under the guise of free speech, but he's just letting on like some jerk offs on the platform. I'm like, oh my God, and now even I still, I kind of felt bad. I'm not gonna front. I felt bad. Sorry, Isaac, my bad, man. My brother. I fell back from a fan base, and then all of a sudden, let me just start messing with TikTok. Yo, my engagements in TikTok, it goes through the roof as far as the response and the from what I get when I post. I think they kind of recently kind of scaled me back, like they dialed down my reach. But I'm not into that fluff bullshit. I'm always gonna share truth, whether it's the sciences or politics or social issues, whatever. And but Yeah, let me tell you something. My TikTok like interactions with the TikTok community is galactically better than what I did in IG. I don't know why. Yeah, like one of my posts did like over 100,000, got over 100,000 views, and like thousands of likes. And I'm like, yo, is this real? I'm like, yo, people really, because I don't even know why I wasn't getting. I don't even get a lot of interactions on Twitter like that. And that's fine. I don't really care. That's not what I don't guide or gauge my life based on the likes that people give me. I share what I want to share, and the people that save me as a friend on Twitter, I appreciate it, and I follow them, and whatever they like, and whatever they don't like from what I share, they are welcome to unfriend me, unfollow me, and that's fine, because I'm not gonna change the way or change who I am for anyone. And that's what a lot of black founders do, the ones that do get inside, because there's a certain particular personality that kind of fits within the mold of the system when you see a black face that finally gets funding. And I'm not going to do that. You see them compromising themselves a lot in order to get the bag. And I'm like, hell no, man. Hip hop never had to compromise to get the bag. You got what you got. And I come from hip hop. I'm straight from the culture, from New York City, baby. And hip hop, I remember when hip hop first started and the news was like, it's just some subculture thing and never go anywhere. Now there's the global fucking force that it is, and it never had to change how it presented itself to the world. It is what it is. You got certain things we're not going to agree with, but a hip hop artist was always had a spirit of rebelliousness. And he said, this is who I am. I come from these streets. This is what it is. And then the whole world listens to him. I remember from the very beginnings of hip hop when it was just a New York thing. Now it's every fucking where. So and I take that spirit of hip hop very personally, very deeply, right down to the core of me. And I'm not going to change for anybody. This is who you're going to get. I'm not going to disrespect you like that. I work with people. I take it like this. Individuals are smart. People are stupid. Individuals will take the time to try to understand things, that what's in front of them. People usually turn into the herd mentality, and where 1, 2, 5, 7 people start thinking within that frame of mind, all of a sudden the crowd turn into the herd mob mentality, and it doesn't matter how much the shit that they're following doesn't make sense, people follow it anyway. I'm like, huh? But individuals take the time to try to understand their surroundings and kind of take things in one morsel at a time. So yeah, that's why I like that saying, man. So yeah, that's hip hop, man. As far as how I'm coming at these VCs, and I'm not gonna do what these other black founders do when they get into the circle and they get their first check. Anyway, I'm not doing that. So yeah, man. So those are some of my 2023 goals: the white paper, the proclamation, building partnerships with the business, the LyfebloodDAO, because it's important to create that community of folks, that round circle. Looking for a co-founder, looking for anyone to really take this journey with me, and seeing where I'm gonna go with the studios and everything like that. Should I build out a studio? Should I keep it like this? Most people just do their podcast right here. Like, I don't know, man. Let me see whether it's Joe Rogan or Joe, what's the other Joe name? Joe, damn, the rapper dude, Joe, I forgot his name, man. Anyway. Yeah, anyway, so what have I missed since getting off this mic? So what have I missed? I missed the Republican Speaker of the House election with Kevin McCarthy. That was a shit show. Let me tell you something. If it grabs my ear and my eye, I tune in. But when it doesn't, I stay off of it. And I keep my head down, even on vacation. Because when I listen to all this bullshit and all this, when something gets my attention and I pay attention to it, and I'll say, okay, let me stop what I'm doing, even on vacation, because I'm busy just trying to decompress. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to go off of vacation. I learn all this shit. I'm paying attention and focus when I'm doing my podcast. If I'm on vacation, I don't want to hear none of it. I kind of tune in a little bit, and I'm like, look, I'm trying to just not have to stress my brain over all the shit that I got to deal with as a black man in this country. Let me just hold back. But anyway, if it does get my attention, And then when I start kind of slicing things, I listen to a lot of different sources. Of course, major news media I do. That's what gets me the first initially, right? All right, I hear from, all right, let me get the real story. So I don't I don't listen to CNN, I don't listen to Fox, I don't listen to none of these major news networks. Then I'll say, okay, let me get the real story. Let me go to a podcast, someone I feel like that I can trust. I'll go to alternative sources. And then I'll probably segue back to major news network to hear what the conversation is, how they're trying to shape the narrative, see if they're staying close to the truth of what it is. You know, I listen to everything. And then this Republican Speaker of the House thing with Kevin McCarthy and how Republicans were kind of like fighting and say, this guy's not getting in. I don't care what he says. He's not going to be Speaker of the House. And oh my God, the Republicans, the infighting and Trump kind of supporting them, the Republicans trolling, and to me it's just them building their name in front of the cameras, and it's just getting so fucking boring. Let me tell you, I can see right through these damn Republicans. Well, I can see right through the Democrats too, but all this bullshit the Republicans are doing, man, I don't know what their identity is. Trump, right? Their identity is white supremacy, right? They have fully accepted that, and they have said it in front of their colleagues, their friends, their constituents, the world. All right. So everybody knows where they're coming from. Okay, that's great. I love that. I love that they're straightforward. They fell into the hoodwink of Trump, thinking that they're gonna win based on that bullshit. Hey, Trump was one of a kind. I'll never underestimate white supremacy and idiocy. Trust me, I will never underestimate it. But you got to be a particular type of person for someone to vote for you. Now, I see you, Governor DeSantis. I see what you're doing. But these Republicans, you see them right now, and I'm like, they just look like a bunch of chickens with their head cut off, and they're just running around like trying to get as much shine as they possibly can, and whether they're dumping on Democrats or whether they're dumping on their own people. And yeah, maybe you could call it as them trying to figure out what committee, I don't know, what insides that they could get by bashing over on Kevin McCarthy and trying to select someone, what political pressure they could put Kevin McCarthy on so he can try to see what he can do once he's in to, I don't know, get them on committee seats, whoever, whatever. But everything, there's a purpose for everything. Whether the purpose is for them to kind of like beat their wings, all right, and beat their chest in front of the camera, just trying to kind of stir up their base, their voting base, to make it seem like they're being quote unquote legitimate politicians, or they're using that in ways where they can weasel their way into certain hallways, certain offices, and get some sort of influence once Kevin McCarthy does get that support and he could take that seat. So yeah, that was a lot of the bullshit that was going on. I'm like, oh my God, it was so bad. I was watching them doing what they were doing, and I'm like, oh my God, really? This is it? So yeah, and the George Santos thing, I'm like, huh? Right? All of a sudden, George Santos became front page news. George Santos lied about most of what he was talking about. I'm like, where did this guy come from? Where did this? He looks like oh my God. This guy looks so unimpressive to me. This dude, I can't think of what he looks to me like right now. He looks like he sells life insurance. Like he's the guy that knocks on your door trying to sell you life insurance. I'm like, would you like, or some kind of cockamamie new invention, or I don't know, a vacuum cleaner or something. I'm like, where did this guy come from? And I've learned if the news is throwing someone or a situation in front of your face every single day, you could gotta peek behind that. Go to alternative news sources and figure out, okay, what are they doing behind it? Because they are making this too much of a front page story right now. Okay, so he lied. Then why don't the Republicans just kick his ass out and 86 this dude? Why don't the Democrats put the pressure? But this dude got in. This guy got in. He lied. He said he was Jewish. And when they questioned him, he's like, I didn't say I was Jewish. I said I was Jew-ish. I'm like, what? This stupid political circus. Oh my God. But this guy got in. And he swore in and he flashed his white supremacy, the OK sign, that's the new white supremacist sign, white power, blah, blah, blah. And he's a Latino dude, George Santos. So you already see, how many times we're going to say a lot of Latinos kind of do that white adjacent business and say, hey, I'm one of you guys too. Don't leave me out. I don't want to get, them soft back dudes. So he kind of flashes. I'm like, okay, all right. That only lasts but so long. As they say, there's no retirement plan for white supporting white supremacy. What else? Black Panther, and that happened. Wakanda Forever. Angela Bassett won the Golden Globes. I think that was great. I saw the news. I didn't really watch it, but I just accepted speech as the best supporting actor in there. And shout out to all the winners of the Golden Globes, man. I like watching it, and then sometimes I don't like watching it. I like watching it because I want to see if the movies that I like gets in. But then it's the politics of it, and so I kind of have one foot in, one foot out. But yeah, big support to all the folks that won at the Golden Globes. And of course, the other thing that I missed talking on the mic with you guys was DC taking on James Gunn and Peter Safran. That was madness. Did I talk about that with you guys? Anyway, if I haven't, seen this coming into play, a Black Adam ending, The Rock is out of here. He's out of here. Henry Cavill, he's out of here. Yet we still, the murmurs of certain characters seem like they're going to survive the James Gunn cut. So they're talking about his wife. His wife was on what do you call it? The Peacemaker. I think it was a Peacemaker. I didn't even know that was his wife. She was one of the federal agents in the HBO show Peacemaker. Is it? Let me see here. HBO show Peacemaker. I think it's a stupid freaking character, Peacemaker. I think that's a stupid character. Yeah, his wife is Jennifer Holland. Who knew? Didn't know this. The rumor is that it's possible that Peacemaker with John Cena is going to survive, and then of course Jennifer Holland, Grace Randolph. I'm a follower of Grace Randolph, and she says if anything and anywhere attached to the Peacemaker HBO gets through, his whole plan of redoing the DCU is gonna go down. It's good, it's not even gonna be able to get out the gate. Forget go down in flames. The thing is gonna sputter coming out the gate, because you already got fans upset, because I know I'm a fan of Henry Cavill, and that dude didn't make it. I'm like, all right, cool, we gonna do this. Fine, just take everybody out. And then they talking about, the rumor is they might keep Jennifer Holland, of course, because that's his wife. That's not gonna go well. That's not gonna go well. And then hold up, I'm not done. They talking about, you still got the whole Aquaman coming out. You still got the whole Shazam movie that's about to come out, and Aquaman don't come out to the end of 2023. Like, what? And then they're going to talk about keeping the Flash movie. And you guys already heard about this. I'm not the first one on the block to say that. You're not hearing it first from me, but I'm just adding to the conversation here. All right, E-Man from E-Man Reviews, Grace Randolph, and everybody on the internet that does movie reviews understands Ping Pong 2 reviews. I forgot the guy's name. He's saying that they're talking about keeping Ezra Miller because they haven't heard nothing. I'm like, what? What? Can you, I would just like to fast forward into Henry Cavill's house, or wherever Henry Cavill is at that moment that news broke and it got to him. I would love to say, motherfucker, in his English accent. I don't even know how to do it in English, but I know he cursing in this English accent, be like, you just cut me. And I just bounced from Netflix. I just cut The Witcher for this shit. That was guaranteed bread. Now you talking about you gonna keep this dude? Oh my God. I can imagine. If I knew Henry Cavill, I would just stare at him like, see this, bro? See how they doing you? I know he cursing. He be keeping it cool on TV, right, when the camera's on. But I know when the camera's not on, what? He is breaking chandeliers. He's breaking lampposts. He's like, motherfucker. He talking about we had a decent civil talk at DC. Yo, man, listen. I'm not seeing none of it. I don't care. They talking about they want to keep the Flash because they said in the early reviews that it looked great. I'm not watching the Flash. I'm not watching Aquaman, even though I love my man Jason Momoa. Sorry, bruh. Not watching it in the movies though. In the movies, and I'm not watching that trash ass Shazam because I seen the trailer too. I'm sorry, that should look trash. That Shazam looked campy as fuck. I'm just not into camp. I loved Shazam the first one. Trust me, I did like it. I'm like, oh, it's cool. But then, you know what did it? You know what soured the whole goddamn bowl for me, man? You know what soured the whole barrel? When Thor: Love and Thunder came out. I was like, this is where Marvel is going? I understand. I get it. There's Marvel and this DC. I get it. But DC has a knack for copying what Marvel does. They do it with everything. DC just look over at my man Kevin Feige, like, yo, what you doing over there, Kevin? Huh? Yeah, I know you're doing a great job over there. Even though DC's gonna kick your ass, buddy. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do with Batman and Superman. Hey, ain't that right? Ain't that right, Peter? Ain't that right? Ain't that right? Ain't that? Fuck. They just copy whatever Marvel does. So Thor: Love and Thunder, I'm like, Taika Waititi, if he don't get his punk ass out of here with that shit, he went overboard. Now I'm afraid that Shazam is going to be on the same campy bullshit, and I'm not with it. I'm watching the trailers. The number 2 just came out. I'm not Quantumania. I'm all in to see. Let's see what happens. I'm all in. But this Shazam shit, sorry, man, not watching it. It's going to come out on HBO Max. And even Grace Randolph said, you know what? Just throw it to she said, and I believe, a lot of people give Grace Randolph shit. And sometimes I didn't believe her at times. I'm like, oh, Grace, come on. You're shitting on my man too much, Henry Cavill. But, I can't lie. She has her connections in the business. She knows she's been doing this for a long time. She did her own comics. She knows people in the comic book business. She knows people in the movie business. She has her ear to the streets, even when she's been doing it so long that she has great hunches, and she's been right 95% of the time that I've been watching her. So she is right when she says if James Gunn keeps Jennifer Holland, his wife, in there, fans are gonna revolt. She is right, because I do agree. If they don't get this right, and dump this dude Ezra Miller, problems. And DC is cursed. It's cursed. It's cursed. They can't, hey, James Gunn, okay, you got it. I know you could do this movie. I know you can. I seen your work with Guardians of the Galaxy. I've seen it. You can put together a movie. I seen you do Suicide Squad. You can put a movie together. I get it. You did Peacemaker. I'm not a big fan on Peacemaker. It's the bottom of my like list, but you can put a movie together. Now I'm hearing that you're writing this story. You hired yourself to be the main writer for Superman. Okay. Just don't do that camp shit, bro. Don't do that campy shit like Thor: Love and Thunder. You saw what Taika did, right? I'm not saying you got to go full Christopher Nolan. I'm not saying that you got to go full blast Matt Reeves. I'm not saying that. But if you're going to do Superman, do not make it campy. Okay? Do not do that. Look at what Joel Schumacher did. When Joel Schumacher was hired to direct Batman with I'm thinking of let me see, Joel Schumacher, and I'm trying to remember, and he died, unfortunately he died. What's his name? Who did Batman? Who did Batman, y'all? What's his name? What's that guy's name? bad. George Clooney, all right? I was like, what is going on here? Where is Tim Burton? Where is Tim? All right? And I saw that story, that backstory, that how DC did not want Tim, I think after Batman 2, Batman Forever with the Penguin, because it was too scary for the kids. And the studio was like, yo, listen, we're selling the kids here. And Tim Burton was like, I'm doing my art. And, you know, that didn't work out. They cut his ass out. But, okay, I get it. Do not make it campy, all right? Because you see Tycho. You see? Okay. All right. So, yeah, and that goes with that. So, moving on. So, recently we had issues with, oh, yeah, by the way, I think that was a good idea with Batgirl, too. Before I move off of that. Yeah, Batgirl. I didn't see Batwoman on, what was it, the WB or whatever. I didn't even see that trash. I was like, huh? Get out of here. When they replaced what's her name with the black woman, I was like, I wasn't even watching it back then with the other model chick. I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, I think that was a good idea to just destroy Batgirl. Maybe someone has a secret copy and they'll release it online to see how bad it was. They said, because they said like 99.9% of the movie was done, and they just X'd it. So I don't know. We'll see with that. But I think that was the right idea to get rid of Batgirl, because from what I saw, I was like, not interested. Go to HBO Max or whatever it's going to be after they sell the shit off. Yeah, so anyway, the recent thing that I wanted to talk about was what's really taking over the airwaves at this point was Tyre Nichols, man. Tyre Nichols was a brother that out of Memphis, Tennessee, he was killed. He was brutally murdered by cops. And again, another case of police brutality, but not what you think it may be. So everybody knows this case, and it's unfortunate that, I did not see the video. The video was circulating, and it comes to a point where I'm like, what do they do when they put out some real quadruple X snuff films? I think with people in this country, certain people, they get off on seeing Black Death, and then now with chest cams, you see it in all of its 1080p goriness. And this brother got, I made a decision a little bit ago to not see that anymore. I'm like, I'm not going to subject my psyche to seeing the torture of a black man. And what makes this story interesting is that the officers that murdered him, they were black. Yes, they were black. And this brother, they say he was like literally like probably a couple of blocks away from his home, living with his mother. He came from the West Coast, and he moved there, I guess, to start a new life. And he cried out for his mother. That's painful to hear, man. That's painful to hear that this brother cried out to his mother while they were doing what they were doing. And they kicked and they punched and they used a baton on this dude. I mean, there was no mercy from what I've been reading in these articles. And during while this whole thing was going on, he was trying to get away. And I know a lot of people say, well, if he would just listen to the cops and not run away. When your life is being threatened, when your life, you literally see, oh shit, in those moments that these dudes out here trying to kill me, you're not going to stand around and wait to see, will they kill you? Okay. You're not going to wait till you get to the pearly gates or into heaven, if there is one, and say, wow, they actually did kill me. You're not going to wait till then. It's one thing that every living animal and creature does on this planet. The number one rule of all things to every living, breathing creature is self-preservation of life. And this brother Tyron wasn't going to stand around and watch them kill him. Unfortunately, they did get him. They chased him, and they did him in, man. As I said before, when I'm talking about police brutality, when has the chest cam footage ever curtailed police brutality. I remember when they were talking about that. Oh, we need chest cam footage because that was going to deter violent police officers from killing other black men. But a lot of the video, or a good portion of the video that gets released, is or are the chest cam footage, or however you want to grammatically correctly say that shit. You know what I'm trying to say. It's the chest cam footage. It's not the dude from far away and from the window over 2 blocks away zooming in, or another person that's filming it a couple of feet away. It's the chest cam footage. Obviously, this is not stopping. Obviously, this is not deterring anyone from getting killed. And what is it, and I said this before on the show, what is it that you can have chest cam footage of you murdering someone on record, digitally being recorded on your device? That device has to get submitted. What is the culture and the politic within that particular police department where officers do not break a sweat from giving back in their chest cam footage for any evidence that they recorded from their arrest gets submitted and put on file? What is the culture where they don't even blink an eye when they give that stuff back to be uploaded? And by the looks of it, this isn't the first time they did this. So this is not a couple of bad apples. This is not about the chest cam footage. You know, we gotta use chest cam footage. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the culture and the politic within that police department where even the chest cam footage does not deter, does not stop, does not make them afraid, does not make them think twice or 3 times. Maybe we shouldn't do this because I love my job. Then that means to tell me the whole culture and politic within the police department is corrupt from top to bottom, because they had no problem with killing this man, this innocent man, taking his life, and knowing that it was all being captured on the chest cam footage. That's saying volumes of what's going on in that police department. And after the footage, well, of course, that was released, many people in Memphis, Tennessee, and cities across America, there were protests, and people are tired. And then through further investigation, they found out that these dudes, and by the way, their names are Darius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Emmett Martin III, and Desmond Mills Jr. and Justin Smith. They're all facing several charges. By the way, they all got fired immediately when the footage got circulated and it got up to the police chief. They immediately got fired, and immediately after that, they got charged. And of course, they're going in. They're going to jail. Well, now it makes you think. This happened pretty quickly, and they dealt with this pretty fast. Now, you got to think, as a black person, if it were the cops is white, and we've seen this before, when the cops are white and they get it on chest cam footage, oh my God, it takes forever for this joint to get released. You get the him and a horn. You get the I don't know, where we got to see the rest of maybe there's a store cam video perspective that we didn't see. Like, there are all types of excuses that comes when the officers was white. But let me tell you, with these officers being black, that shit went quick fast. That says a lot too. And it also says a lot about black cops. And for everybody that feels like, especially white folks out there that I'm talking to that listen to this podcast, I'm like, oh, I don't know. What are you guys talking about racism? It was a bunch of black guys. I'm like, no. We also understand, if you pay close attention to anything with the smallest amount of reason and logic, we understand that white supremacy spreads across. It is a sickness that's not relegated just to white folks, but it also spreads throughout every individual that is susceptible to it. Black, Asian, Latino, everybody. And in a system of white supremacy, you would see those that operate, POCs and black people that operate within that system will try to do their damnedest to prove that they are one of them and not the other person that they got at the end of the baton. This ain't new. This has been going on since slavery days. And it's just something that's not happening to black folk. It happens to all people that are under the subjugation of structural racism or oppression. The Jews did it too to their own folks when they took them to the gas chamber. There were some rich Jews that went right along with it. Okay? Same thing. It's what happens under a system of oppression. In any way for you to survive, you will do what's necessary. That's even turning on people that looks like you. So yes, when you have those 5 officers, black officers that killed that black man, they did they damn. Now I'm in personal witness to that living in as a black man in this country. I've seen situations where black cops go even harder than the white counterparts. I see it right in front of my eyes when it's a situation that happens on the street. You see that officer go in, he trying to get in, handcuff that person. I mean, my man's even more aggressive than the white cop. The white cop got to back off. I'm like, all right, I seen you got that. Get over here, nigga. That's the black cop. Because they want to seem that they're loyal to the system of white supremacy and not to the folks, to their own people. Of being fair and objective to the situation. Yes, it runs deep. Hatred runs deep even in black bodies for their own folk. And they coming through the further investigation, they're talking about these police officers were actually a part of this group, this unit called Scorpion. They said it's an acronym for Street Crimes Operations to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhoods. It was launched in about 2021. That sounds familiar. There was a thing that happened here in New York called Operation Impact, where they centered in on hot zones, areas that were rife with crime and criminality. But they send in these special units to try to handle these things. It sounds similar to Operation Impact that was happening here in New York. Of course, that got smashed to bits by a lot of grassroots organizations that were against that because they were specifically targeting black and brown communities. So now you have this Scorpion unit with a bunch of brothers in it down there. I can't even call them brothers. They're the individuals in Memphis, Tennessee that just running up on people for no reason. So, you know, they're going to go to jail without a doubt. They're going to get jail time. And yeah, they're going to get jail time. Oh yeah, they're gonna get jail time. They're gonna get jail time and it's not gonna be sweet. Oh, it's not gonna be sweet. It is what it is. They're gonna get jail time and they're gonna probably get released in Gem Pop. And you know, some people see that there are problems with police brutality and they see they layer those problems on top of problems when it comes to black cops trying to live through that system and going extra hard. They gonna get problems. Each and every one of those officers. C'est la vie. Now, this leads into the next subject. Cop City, what's happening in Atlanta, Georgia, right? This directly connects to what we're saying here, right? So there's protesters going down in Atlanta, Georgia. It was based off a death of an individual. His name was, for a couple of years now, the local city officials were trying to gather up or buy 381 acres of land in southeast Atlanta. I think it's called the Weelaunee Forest, I believe. It used to be like an old slave plantation and it turned into like an old Atlanta prison farm. And it's a whole lot of acreage. And now the city officials of Atlanta wants to purchase it for $90 million to build some sort of military, some kind of police compound to train cops. They said they want to train cops on riot control and high-speed driving and bomb detonation range. And they have a virtual reality shooting simulations and they call it a shooting house. Supposedly they have the fire department there. So it's pretty much, I'm like, yo, this is military training. This is straight, right? I don't know how far it is from the heart of Atlanta, but this is like low, you're militarizing police here. What is happening in Atlanta that is so fucked up, so like inundated and crowded to the gills with crime? As I said, kind of like Batman Gotham City. How is Atlanta turning to a virtual shitfest where local city officials wants to buy this police compound to train police in what looks like guerrilla warfare. What is happening? They say in 2021, the city council had a meeting involving the public on what would the response be to this development. The public overwhelmingly said they were against it. They were like, nah, we don't need that. We don't need that. We don't want it. What we need to do is change this acreage into affordable housing and a variety of other things that can fit for the people of this in the city of Atlanta. That's what we need. We need to build up the city. We don't need this police fortress. Guess what happened? The city council denied the feelings and attitudes and viewpoints of the people that came there to go against it, and they went through with it anyway. Now, of course, you had a lot of the folks on the ground that they shacked up in that acreage of land to protect, because they want to lay down the trees, and they say no, that's also an environmental issue. And you had people that was coming in that was basically setting up, tenting up in on this piece of land, and unfortunately, someone was shot. There was a protester by the name of, and I really thought I wrote down this man's name, and for some reason, oh my God! Sometimes I make these mistakes. I'm thinking that, I forget like key information. There was a protester that died. They were the cops were trying to run out the protester and protesters. And one protester was shot, and his name is, I'm trying to get this man's name. Excuse me, folks. I don't know. I think if when I look at my notes, it's that self-correct, that correct feature, man. I'm like, dude, it doesn't recognize a word, so it tries to turn it into a word that it closely. What it thinks you're trying to say. I'm like, man, where's ChatGPT when you need it? Man, so this dude's name, let me see here. I want to get this guy's name. Protester shot. Excuse me, folks. And you're shouting to the radio right now. The name of this person, Manuel Esteban Paez Toran. Excuse me, Manuel Esteban Paez Toran. That was his name. And so he was the protester, was shot and killed. And of course, this was a tragedy waiting to happen. And of course, the current mayor, Mayor Andre Dickens, says that the information that the protesters are shooting back and blah blah blah. We don't know this. That's what the cops are saying. But unfortunately, this gentleman died. The wild thing reading these articles is that the former Atlanta mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, she was for the facility. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. She said the need of this facility was necessary because it would boost morale of the police. What? The Andre Dickens and of course media, they villainized this activist, and they defended the actions of the armed police officers. And I just don't understand. I don't understand it. And it goes back to my original question. Has a crime in Atlanta gone over the top and immersed itself in straight immoral, barbaric criminality that this police facility needs to get built right next to Atlanta? Is that really necessary? What is the crime of poverty is right now? Because all I see right now coming out of the ATL is people trying to build up the city, build businesses, build black businesses, straighten things out. Of course, some issues is going on with the governor in Atlanta and all these things politically that they're trying to shift and change things around in the city of Atlanta. But then you have local politics. I told y'all about that, man. Didn't I tell you about that as far as your local politics? You got to be careful who they put in front of your face that they're saying is quote unquote progressive or Democrat. And you think because black folks are lifelong Democrats, say, hey, I'm going to vote for this guy. He's going to do right by me. And all they are paid pawns. This guy, Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, fully supports this whole thing. And of course, this life of Manuel Esteban Paez Terán is gone. His family will forever miss him and close friends. And that doesn't mean anything to this mayor. And I'm so surprised that the former mayor, Keith Lance Bottoms, didn't have, like, she fully supported this thing. Even back then, I didn't even hear about this. You know, the wild thing is, check this out. The wild thing is that Atlanta is not the only place where they're building these police facilities. They're also building these police facilities in Kansas. They have one in Chicago, I think, that's near Chicago, the city of Chicago. They're building them out in Kansas. I said, I forgot where in Kansas. And it has me concerned. Let me see if I can find a police facility built in Kansas. See if I can find it by Googling. Let's see if I put in this phrase here. I can't find it. I think I remember I read an article somewhere that Atlanta is not the only place they're actually building in Kansas and in Chicago, and I'll look that up and I'll save it for the next week's show. But yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad, and the people don't want this. There's never been a more in-your-face response from the public as far as what they expect from their local city officials, what the city needs. As I said before, how you fix poverty and crime is with social programs, with job training, education, where you can turn the city around, your neighborhood around. If you're dealing with an impoverished area and you're dealing with crime, of course, I'm not saying pull police out. You're going to need police to kind of control the criminal activity. But what you need for a long-term change in a neighborhood is those things: social programs, job training, giving these people skills, whether it's in construction or technical skills. In the 21st century, this comes with computer programming, computers, and all these things like that. That is what's needed to turn around the economic health of a community. And I see people talking about changing things in the city of Atlanta, and the people don't want this. They're screaming at their local politicians, saying, no, this is what we need instead. This is how we could turn things around. And they're not listening. And people say it doesn't solve the issue of police brutality. Now look at it here. They want to build Cop City, and they're saying that it's necessary for the city of Atlanta. And here you have it in the same damn time. At the same damn time, we have this brother that was killed by black officers in Memphis, Tennessee. What's up with that diversity now? What's up with that job training now? Police need more training. How's that going? How's that chest cam going? Cops are not being used as peace officers. They're not here to protect black and also brown communities. They're not here for that. I don't know how much more you have to see to realize that that is not the mission objective of local police in your neighborhood. They're there to control you. Now, if you have the people literally screaming at the top of their lungs on saying what they need to change their community, and those very changes are happening based on the little bit of concessions that our local politicians are giving in order to change the city around, and people are saying, we need more of this, we need more of this. But then the local politicians say, no, we need more cops. We need more cops. We're going to get more training. We need more diversity as we want. Yeah, we need it. And yet you have, in the same breath, in the same moment, you have black cops that literally murdered this black man in a couple of states over. What is the purpose of police? It's what's on paper and it's what's happening in real life. What is the mission objective of police? Do not get turned by the bullshit propaganda. Now, I understand where you need police. If you have criminality, you have drugs, you have rape. I understand all of that. But city politicians know what they need to do in order to change the conditions of a neighborhood with long-term goals. There's short-term, and I believe police are short-term solutions to issues in problematic communities, and there are long-term changes that can be instituted or solutions to change a community around. We're going to look at that case some more. All right, so back in New York, man. In New York, they're saying that they want to actually open up 20,000 office spaces in New York because of the new trend of remote work. A lot of businesses are having issues because people want to remote work. They want to stay home and do their jobs. I'm sorry, as I said, the cat is out the bag with this one, and that's not turning around. And businesses are having a hard time trying to fill these jobs, these positions, these roles, because they need it for whatever. But they're having problems because the remote work is really taking over. So now with all this open office space, they're saying, and it's been a long-term conversation, now they're moving forward trying to convert all these office space scattered throughout the city into living quarters and into affordable housing. So, you know, I think I'll big it up to the mayor for doing something like that. Let's see if he can keep it affordable. The only thing is, the challenge is to running new piping for plumbing and electricity and all these other things that are necessary to convert these office spaces into living spaces. And that, they said, might be what can cause it to get expensive, the possibility, because there's a lot of things that you have to do, and they're working all those things out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what that city, I was trying to look online to see if they've converted any office spaces to living quarters now. I would love to see how they're going to do that. They got to make it affordable and then kind of make it spacious. Those are two things that we need that we have lost in New York City. The apartments, pre-war buildings had very spacious units. Now the new apartments are being built now. They're being built small and at exorbitant prices. So you've seen it. If you know me on TikTok, you see what I share. New York is out of this world with the rental prices. It's already a problem with trying to buy a home with the rental prices. Oh my God, what is the end goal? Like, it's come a time where people can't afford this shit. So I'm looking forward to see how that's going to take place, what they're going to look like, what they're going to charge people, make it affordable housing, make it permanent affordable housing. And I heard a lot of these developers would actually parcel out probably like 10, 12, 15% of the units in the new building for people of low income, low mid income folks. But the loophole is, once that individual or that family leaves, then that unit automatically gets upgraded to market rate. So in that way, they have already fulfilled their promises to the city mayor, the local city officials. But once that individual leaves, and there's no law or promise that they have to make sure that they keep or abide by in terms of law to make sure that they keep affordable housing in their new buildings. So that's going to be interesting to make sure that that's done for New Yorkers, man, because New Yorkers need affordable housing. And people that are making high six figures and they still can't afford where they live. So things are getting really out of control. The greed is nasty right now. And it's just not New York. It's also LA and a lot of other major cities that this is happening to. And people are moving out into like the outskirts of New York and commuting in like an hour and a half just so they can make New York money, but then at the same time have affordable housing. And they're moving upstate New York, they're moving to Pennsylvania, they're moving into like South Jersey. Madness, man. Or far west New Jersey. The Poconos. The Poconos is one of the places that I hear a lot of people moving to. and they're freaking driving into the city. Like their commute is like hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours at times. That's how bad it's gotten. Like people want like decent housing that they can pay, and having jobs that they can, you know, pay that mortgage and save money and for their kids' colleges and any other emergencies that may come up, and their kids wanting to go to baseball practice. Like, yo, people want quality life. So yeah, it's be interesting to see how that goes. You know, keep an eye on that. The next thing that we got going on here, man, the DOJ, man, this whole bullshit, I swear. Actually, this is the last thing on my list before I get out of here with you guys. All of this is bullshit. All of this is super bullshit. I tell you. So, of course, everybody knows about the ex-president Trump. His Mar-a-Lago living whatever you want to call it, his estate got raided by the FBI because somehow it got out that he had held on to a lot of top secret documents. So he had boxes and boxes of this stuff. What he was doing with boxes, I know what he was doing. I know this guy's trying to cut deals. So he came away with boxes. So somehow President Joe Biden was accused of having quote unquote stolen documents found at his personal office and his Wilmington home. Actually, see what I tell you, this damn autocorrect in notes keeps on changing people's names. Robert, it's crazy. Man, I hate that. I got to see how I could turn that off, man. Former U.S. Attorney for District Columbia, District of Maryland. Excuse me. Let me see if this pops up. Hurd, yeah, Robert K. Hurd is he's a former U.S. Attorney for the District of Maryland. He's handling the case under the DOJ AG Garland. And right now, it happened, I think, in November 2nd. They found more documents in a Wilmington garage on December 20th, and in another home on January 11th. And on January 14th, the White House lawyer found additional material. So they keep on finding things. I don't know if there's anything of significance, but this is almost to me like a gotcha from Republicans saying, see, Trump is not the only one. All these presidents do it. So no, not the same thing. It's not, you're trying to compare the two. Hell no. And from what I understand, that it's just some papers from when he was vice president days and the senator days, things of that nature. I don't think it's anything damning. This is more like PR bullshit that's happening. And yeah, I can't see if this is going to get anywhere. But again, it's all bullshit. And as I said before, if Trump does not go to jail for any of the long list of things that he has done illegally as before president, during his presidency, and after his presidency, all of this is bullshit. If he doesn't see a lick of jail, this whole idea of America is going to come into question by real, objective, open-minded people, citizens of this country, because Trump committed the worst crime of them all that a U.S. citizen can do, as being traitorous to your country by doing what he did on January 6th. And for those folks that died when the insurrection happened, what more can you see that was caught on camera? And I said, if he does not go to jail or suffer any consequences for what he did, America is not the America that they said since I was a child on what America is. I don't know what America is. And this is going to have long-standing consequences. We may not see it today. And people may sweep it on the rug now because we're so busy with life and trying to live out our lives and all these other things. Yeah. But this for former President Trump to not be held accountable for any of the things that he did and he's going to go off scot-free. And if that man dies in Mar-a-Lago or wherever at through natural causes, and he does not see a lick of jail, when there were plenty of opportunities to show the American people that even though that America has done a lot of questionable, a lot of illegal things, that there are certain lines that cannot be crossed for the benefit, for the life, for the health of this country, that they have to show the American people that they do have something they stand on that makes it separate from the rest of the countries around the world, that we have learned in our history classes, that we've learned in social studies class, that we learned in humanities, that we've learned in everything associated with anything dealing with politics or how the society has developed since 1776. I'm just saying, because that's what's been taught from New York Department of Education all the way to the suburbs, from the city to the suburbs. This is what we have been taught. And for this to happen, knowing the circus show that's taking place with President Joe Biden and his papers, and I'm not saying, again, I always have to say, I'm not saying as a Democrat. I'm just saying this bullshit that we're seeing before our eyes. And at the same time, this dude Trump does not see a lick of jail. What does that say about these United States of America and the current situation that's happening in America at this point? This is, as I said, we may not see it right at this moment in time. But this idea that we understand of America will slowly start to loosen the seams, the fabric will start to get less taut, and secure. Less taut, right? And secure and bound. And it's going to happen from the top, and the people will feel it at the very bottom. And we will step back, and it'll look like the Mona Lisa, that picture, that famous picture of the lady in the Mona Lisa. That looks beautiful from afar. And then as you get closer and closer and closer, you see all the cracks and the faded paint and the canvas slowly deteriorating from years, centuries of being exposed to all the air contaminants. America is not what it professes itself to be. What is it going to be? What is it? And how is that going to affect every human being, every citizen within these borders, from federal down to local? And I don't see that changing, especially from what I read from all these, I will be honest, for all these police, quote unquote, facilities that's being built. I think eventually the people see it like, wait a second. That's another thing that I think of. I think, don't get it twisted, a lot of the elite know what's happening. They're not that ignorant to how people are feeling. And there are some people within those elite circles that have said, it was like, hey, listen, if we don't stop what we're doing, if we go off the cliff with this, we're gonna have another situation like what happened in France. We gotta stop, pull back of this unfettered greed here, man. And it's been said, but it's not really talked up. So that's my thoughts. I guess I'll get into a little bit further next week. But anyway, thank you guys for listening to me on the show. I appreciate it, man. I think I should have went longer, but I just don't have a lot of time. So when I do these things, I got like a little window where I can press in and talk to you guys on a one-on-one how I feel about certain things or what's going on around the world. Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys listening. I'll be back next week again with some new music, some backdrops. I bumped into this producer, and I love my music, on IG, and I'm definitely gonna reach out to this brother to see if to highlight some of that sonic beauty that he's creating in the lab. So yeah, man, you're gonna hear some new music, and hopefully we could get some new interviews for you guys. I got a couple of people in mind. Let's see what we could do in the next month or two, and crunch it in those interviews. And yeah, man, let's do it. Thanks again for listening to the show. I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad I'm talking to you guys. And yeah, peace, love, and hair grease. I'm out. All right, peace for everybody. Peace.
Check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by lyfeblood.com. For the global community,
We worldwide, baby.
see you in the next go round. From right here to your town, we out.